Hi, I'm Steve Bass. I'm the president of OPB and a musician with the Vancouver Symphony. And this is our announcement of the 21-22 Vancouver Symphony Orchestra concert season. And joining me is our music director, Maestro Salvador Brotons, who is actually in Vancouver. Great to see you, Salvador.
Great to be here in Vancouver. Hello, Mr.
It's been a long time.
Steve, a long time, more than 1 year missing you. And believe me, I feel very privileged and very happy to be here, finally. We're able to travel because we couldn't travel at all.
Nope.
And finally we took a plane and here I am.
It's great to have you here. So you're here so we can announce the new concert season, and just to kind of give folks a little sense of where we've been. Mm-hmm. The symphony pivoted very quickly last September, and we started to do a series of live streamed concerts that people really, really loved because we couldn't have folks in the Skyview Concert Hall. So I was hosting them. I actually had private concerts for myself, just about. There was like nobody in there. It was great to, one of the few people listening to live music, but we're going to be back at it in September. We are going to be back at Skyview Concert Hall. And the plan is to welcome audiences at Skyview, as many people as the state and the authorities will allow.
Yes.
But we will continue also to stream the concerts live on the internet. So when you become a season ticket subscriber, you will have the option to be there in the concert hall, or you will have the option to watch it in the comfort of your home, streamed as you did this year. And season ticket subscribers will have first access to the concert hall. So if we have limited capacity, if you're a season ticket subscriber, you will get into the concert hall before the general public. So that's a really great reason to become a subscriber right now. And the way you do that is to go to vancouversymphony.org or call this number 360-735-7278. And brochures are going to be arriving in your mailbox very, very soon. So subscribe before July 1 and you're going to get an early bird discount for even greater savings. So let's get to the 21-22 season, Salvador. Let's get to the good stuff. So we're going to be back at it September 25th and 26th, 2021, with a little bit of Beethoven, with a little bit of Saint-Saëns, and a little bit of Schubert. And we're going to be playing with a soloist that you know quite well. Tell us a little bit about this program.
And I think it's a program that I designed a little with the limitations of the coronavirus, of course, because usually I don't start the season ending with a symphony by Schubert, but it's a fantastic symphony, the tragic symphony. But it requires a little smaller orchestra. There is no trombones. It's only two horns, etc., etc. But it's a phenomenal symphony. It's a tragic symphony in C minor. Schubert is a very meaty symphony, and I think it's going to be also very good. And also we start with Beethoven. The Coriolanus in C minor, very deeply felt overture. And we have back this wonderful soloist, violinist Francisco Fullana, who I know since he was very, very young. When he was 8 years old, he already performed with my orchestra in Mallorca at that time. And he's right now living in the United States, having an incredible career. He has been in Juilliard. And he already had been here. He came to perform Sibelius, had an incredible success. That was 6 or 7 years ago. I don't know exactly right now. But he's coming back performing the Saint-Saëns Violin Concerto No. 3, which is a very beautiful concert, very romantic, and people will enjoy it tremendously. He's a phenomenal violinist.
That'll be a great way to start the season. So we're going to start a little smaller just because of COVID, but we're going to be back at it then. So I'm looking forward to that one. Then in October, that's the 23rd and 24th, we're going to be doing a couple of really interesting pieces, maybe a little bit bigger, a little Ravel, a little Stravinsky, a little Debussy, and some Zoltan Kodály. Big piece, Dances of Galanta. What about this program that is?
I think also is a coronavirus program, but as you mentioned, a little bigger orchestra. There is still no trombones, no tuba. That's what because if you put trombones and tuba in the orchestra, you need to have more strings, and the orchestra gets bigger, of course. Then there is also not that much percussion, but it's a very interesting program. In fact, sometimes this coronavirus thing experience forces you to program pieces that maybe you would normally not program. And for instance, the Igor Stravinsky, the Pulcinella Suite, is a phenomenal piece that is a smaller orchestra, but it's based on Pergolesi music. It's kind of a neoclassic Stravinsky, and then combining with the two greatest French composers, Ravel and Debussy, La Petite Suite and Pavon for the Dread Princess. It's
beautiful
a short
piece,
very beautiful. People love these two pieces. And as you mentioned, the biggest piece in the program is the Zoltan Kodaly Dances of Galante that has incredible clarinet solos. In this piece, the clarinet is the big soloist of the. It's a very it's Hungarian composer that's based on gypsy dances from Hungary, and it's a very exciting piece. It has incredible melodies and also exciting rhythms. Absolutely, it's a winner. It's a piece that ends the concert in a brilliant note. I think it's going to be a very interesting concert. Usually, you know, in a typical program, we start with an overture, then a soloist, and then a second half only one symphony. It's good sometimes to break this scheme and doing something different, putting two pieces in the second half. That's something a little unusual.
Should be a great program. Then in December, we have a Broadway holiday concert. And I think at this point, the repertoire is a bit to be determined, but we've got a wonderful vocalist, Liz Calloway, a guest Broadway star. And I guess as we get closer, we'll figure out what's going to be on that program particularly. But is there anything that you know of at this point?
No, we need to discuss that. But I heard that Liz Calloway is a phenomenal star in Broadway, and I think it's going to be a very popular pop concert, a little, that usually in the holiday season people enjoy very much.
It should be a lot of fun, and people love those holiday concerts, and it's a great time of year to be kind of celebrating the holiday spirit. And again, if you want to become a season ticket subscriber, the way to do that is to go to the website at vancouversymphony.org, or you can call 360-735-7278 and talk to one of our helpful staff in the audience. And brochures are going to be arriving in the mail for donors and past season subscription subscribers very, very soon. So make sure you subscribe before July 1 and get the biggest discount you possibly can. So now we're into 2022, into January, and this is going to be a great program. Again, a little bit bigger orchestra. We're going to be doing the Edward Elgar Enigma variations and our annual Young Artist Competition winners. Obviously, don't know what we're going to be doing with our young artists, but the quality of those young people just continues to increase.
Yeah, that's always a concert that I'm looking forward, because that's a program that we have been doing for almost 25 years or even more. I'm lost about that, but it has been incredible to see these young people that has for some of them will be the first experience to play with an orchestra as a soloist. And believe me, their level are incredible. They play like all the soloists that we bring here sometimes, and it's a very good experience for them. And we will have, as usually, we have 3 soloists, and I'm looking forward to that. And then the second half, this is already non-coronavirus piece. Is an Enigma variation, includes trombones and tuba, and big orchestra, also percussion. Is a phenomenal, maybe the best piece that Elgar ever wrote, or one of the most popular pieces that he wrote. Enigma variation is this incredible Nimrod variation in the middle that everybody loves so much.
Oh, yeah.
But is a good example of a great composer that knows how to compose variations for orchestra very much. Fantastic piece.
It's a wonderful piece, and I'd say if people know his Pomp and Circumstance March, but but Nimrod, the Nimrod variations, that's something most people would know and recognize, and it's a beautiful piece and big and lush, and looking forward to playing that. I've never played that one, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Two times. It's maybe my third time conducting this piece. It's phenomenal.
That's great. And then February 26th and 27th, 2022, we're going to go in a bit of a different direction. And we've got a classical guitarist coming back, Adam Levin, who played with us this year in one of our stream concerts.
Yes.
Fabulous soloist, really terrific guy. Looking forward to playing with him in person, and that's a really wonderful program. So tell us a little bit about that program.
I can tell him about Adam Levin. He was a guy that was living in Spain, and he came to Barcelona just to meet me because he knew me as a composer, because I have written quite a lot of pieces for guitar, and he has commissioned 2 pieces for me to write, and he has paid me to compose, and I composed a Sephardic sonata for him because he's Jewish, and I composed a sonata for guitar for him based on Jewish themes. Anyway, he's a phenomenal guitarist, and he's a nice guy and very interested, and he has developed very much the repertoire of guitar. Anyway, and also we start this concert with a piece that I discovered by a black composer that is called Taylor. It's a ballad in A minor, very beautiful piece. And I believe me, I didn't know that piece, and somebody mentioned that I should listen to that. And right away, when I listened to this piece, I said, okay, yes, we should include some minority composer, which is also very nice. And we will end up the concert with a fabulous symphony, romantic symphony, maybe the best symphony by Sibelius. I don't know if it's the best, but because there's always Sibelius is very particular composer. But Symphony Number 1 by Sibelius is a very complete symphony, very romantic from the very beginning to the end. And people will love. I mean, it's not a problematic. Sometimes Sibelius gets a little weird, or a little not weird, I would say. It's not the word. It's a little more difficult to understand than Tchaikovsky or Brahms or the other romantic composers. But in his first symphony, I think he has a lot of influence by Tchaikovsky. In fact, I think it's one of his best symphonies, definitely.
Well, looking forward to playing that. And the Rodrigo concerto is something that I think many people will recognize. Right. It is really the premier kind of guitar concerto.
I was talking about the guitarist, but I didn't talk about the composer, because what happens with the guitarist happens that guitarists, they want to play some other concerti, but they only get invitation to play the Rodrigo concerto Aranjuez. I mean, that's the typical concerto that all the guitarists should play. It's a wonderful concerto, and it has become very popular, and everybody loves it.
It's a great piece. So that's going to be a fabulous concert. That's February 26th and 27th in 2022. And then in April, the 23rd and the 24th, this is going to be a big concert, our Russian extravaganza, because you, Maestro, have a particular affinity for Russian composed music, as we know. Yes. And this is going to be the welcome back to Alexander Taradze, who is coming back again. He was with us, I think it was 2017 or 2018, performing Prokofiev's, was it the third piano concerto?
Yes,
I think it was 3.
Yeah.
Did an amazing job. Yeah. Wonderful man. We loved playing with him, and I'm just so excited to have him come back, and he's going to do a couple of things, isn't he?
Yes, fine. Believe me, Alexander Taradze, besides of being an incredible pianist, he's an incredible person that has this personality that you talk with him, and it's like you talking with a person that you knew from years and years and years. It's very, very easy to work. but my gosh, he's one of the best pianists in the world right now. And he's going to be doing 2 concerti. The Shostakovich Concerto No. 2 is supposed to be a small concerto because he wrote this piece for his son, and it's a young concerto. But it's very, very listenable, very romantic. In fact, it's not contemporary. It's not contemporary or 20th century music. It's a very sweet concerto, and paired with Igor piano concerto for strings. I don't think it's for strings. It's for winds and orchestra.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think that's right. I think it's not strings. It says
no, it's winds.
It's winds and orchestra.
Finally, you know, Stravinsky, he preferred the winds than the strings. The strings he didn't like. Stravinsky says the strings sound so romantic. They put too much vibrato. I prefer something drier, like the winds, more objective sound. Anyway, it's a very good concerto also. And we finished with Symphony No. 2, the Little Russian Symphony by Tchaikovsky, which is not performed fine. Nowadays is more often performed because Tchaikovsky symphonies use, 30 years ago, you only listened the last 3 of Tchaikovsky. Yep. Nowadays, you listen also No. 1, No. 2, No. 3, because they are wonderful. And this one is very compact. It's not a long symphony. It's 30 minutes. And it has very exciting rhythms and incredible good ending. It's popular based on a folk Ukrainian melody. Pom, pam, pim, pam, pim, pam, pam, pom, 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 pom. It's fabulous. And very good Brazilian ending.
People will know that. And of course, Tchaikovsky is very popular. And to pair that with Stravinsky and Shostakovich and with Alexander Taradze, who's just a wonderful, wonderful pianist and just a great guy. Looking forward to that one in April, the 23rd and the 24th. And then we've got our season finale, May 21 and 22nd, doing the Korngold Violin Concerto with Rachel Barton Pine and many other things. We were supposed to do that, I believe, this season, pushed it back to next season. Korngold is quite an interesting composer. I know that violin concerto, and it's very cinematic, isn't it?
Yes, because he wrote a lot of film music, but believe me, this concerto is so beautiful. The melody is romantic. It has the violin shines all the time, and the orchestra also is difficult because we already have played that maybe I think 12 or 13 years ago. I remember with Israeli Nitai Zori, right? We did that, but a long time ago. And I remember it being a very difficult concerto to put together. And also we paired that with a piece by American composer, romantic American composer, Chadwick, the Rip Van Winkle Overture. It's a short overture that I think we need to promote this great American composer that sometimes, because they are romantic and all that, and of course, if you compare with Dvorak or you compare with Tchaikovsky, you always say, oh, fine, they are good, but never as good as the Europeans. But believe me, this Chadwick is a fabulous composer. I have listened some of his music, and I love him very much. And I think it's going to be a good starting of the concert. It is making this the first half, all-American first half. And then the second half is kind of a little surprise, because you don't listen very often a symphony by Glazunov. This is another Russian composer, a little post-Tchaikovsky, between Tchaikovsky and Shostakovich. I think it was a student of Rimsky-Korsakov, and also teacher of Shostakovich and Prokofiev. But believe me, he is a fabulous composer. He wrote 8 symphonies, and believe me, I have listened all 8. And all of them are very good. Difficult to pick one. And finally, I decided to pick number 5 because it's a very compact symphony. It has a brilliant ending, which is important, I think. And it has, I think people will discover this symphony. Sometimes it's good to challenge the audience and the musicians, not only to play always the repertoire that they know it's always, I like to introduce different repertory, because by doing that, the audience also open their minds, and the musicians, they say, okay, I'm eager. If Salvador says it is going to be is a good symphony, it's going to be a good symphony. People have an opinion.
And on that program, we've got Rachel Barton Pine, who's a very fine violinist, very well known. She's gonna be terrific in the Korngold, and we look forward to having her. And the Glazunov reminds me of the season-ending concert we had a couple of years ago when we did the Khachaturian Bell Symphony.
Yeah.
Is that number 3 or 2? I can't remember.
Bell Symphony. You
Symphony,
love the symphony, right?
Which, you know, I think a lot of audience members were like, okay, what's that all about? My wife, Sarah, came to the Saturday concert. She liked that piece so much, she came again Sunday. I mean, it was, so if this one is, you know, as good as the Bell Symphony, you know, it may not be the sort of thing that you know it, but I think it's going to be something that is going to be really, really special.
I'm sure the audience will leave the concert very, very satisfied.
Absolutely. So that's the season going forward. Again, we're going to be planning for in-person concerts at Skyview Concert Hall. We suspect that that is going to move forward, but you will also be able to stream the concerts if you would prefer to do that. All of it is included, pardon me, in your ticket price of that is available for a season subscription. And when you are a season subscriber, you are therefore on the priority list for the seats in the hall. If for some reason we're not able to have full capacity at Skyview Concert Hall, as a season subscription ticket holder, you will have preference over the general admission folks. So the way you become a season subscriber is to go to the website vancouversymphony.org or call the office at 360-735-7278. Talk to one of our wonderful staff that's there, and they'll help you become a season ticket subscriber to the Vancouver Symphony. So we're looking forward to this concert year coming up. I can't wait to get back on stage with you, Salvador, in September. It's been far too long. By then it'll be 18 plus months, and it's really great to see you. So glad to have you back in Vancouver, and we're looking forward to next year. Be sure to get those tickets. Again, vancouversymphony.org, 360-735-7278.